The WNBA spent many years chasing relevance. Then Caitlin Clark showed up, and overnight the league had more attention than it knew how to handle. Ratings jumped fast. Arenas filled up. Media coverage surged. Real success finally arrived. And that was the moment cracks began to appear, because here is the part few want to say openly. The WNBA was not prepared for the thing it had been demanding for so long. Growth did not fix old problems. It revealed them. Right now we are watching a league scramble to manage momentum it cannot fully control. The question people keep dodging is not whether the WNBA is growing. The real question is whether the WNBA can handle what it has become. That is a very different issue. And the truth is more complicated than most want to admit. Let us connect the dots others avoid. You have noticed it for months. The inconsistencies. The slow reactions. The decisions that do not fully make sense. If you believe understanding what is really happening matters more than surface-level stories, hit the like button now. It shows you want the real picture. Here is the reality about organizational growth. It sounds simple, but it never is. Wanting something and managing it once you have it are two completely different skills. The WNBA wanted attention. It got Caitlin Clark. And Clark brought more than fans. She brought expectations, timelines, and pressure that the league infrastructure was not designed to absorb. This is not about one player being too big. It is about a system built for slow growth suddenly facing explosive acceleration. When systems are not built to scale, they do not adjust smoothly. They fail in predictable ways. For years, the WNBA operated with limited visibility. Errors went unnoticed. Delays were excused. Inconsistencies did not matter because few were watching closely. That is not criticism. It is reality. Smaller leagues face smaller scrutiny. But once a league reaches mainstream relevance, everything changes. Silence stops being neutral and starts standing out. Delays no longer look procedural. They look broken. And mistakes that once faded quietly now become headlines. That shift happened fast. Too fast. And the signs are everywhere if you know where to look. Caitlin Clark's rookie season was not just successful. It was compressive. Growth that usually takes 5 to 7 years happened in months. Attendance milestones meant to come slowly were broken in weeks. Broadcast numbers that were long-term goals became opening night standards. Sponsorship talks that usually take years began closing in quarters. This is momentum without infrastructure. When structure falls behind speed, tension becomes unavoidable. You have seen the signs even if you have not connected them yet. How the league communicates or stays silent around major decisions. The uneven way exposure is shared. The CBA talks that feel sudden but were overdue for years. Players speaking more openly about frustration, not with direction, but with the league's ability to operate at the speed growth now requires. None of this is accidental. None of it is personal. This is about systems hitting their limits. Growth does not only mean more fans. It means more stakeholders with competing expectations. Broadcast partners want reliability. Sponsors want consistency. Players want structure. Fans want professionalism. All of these demands arrive at once, often before the organization can support them. The NBA faced this in the 80s. The NFL faced it during its TV boom. European soccer faced it when global money flooded in. Every major league reaches a point where success stops being an idea and becomes an operational test. That is when leadership is truly tested. Not in crisis, but in transition. And the WNBA is deep in transition right now. The kind that cannot be solved by one smart move or one strong season. It requires a full recalibration of how the league operates, communicates, and balances priorities. Caitlin Clark did not create these problems. She exposed them. Her arrival sped up timelines so dramatically that issues meant to be addressed slowly became urgent. Revenue talks that could have stretched over a decade are happening now. Equity conversations that could have rolled out gradually demand attention immediately. Infrastructure gaps that were manageable under slow growth became obvious under the spotlight she brought. This is why some see favoritism or bias. They notice attention focused on one player and assume intent. What is actually happening is mechanical, not emotional. Systems built for one level are being forced to operate at another. When that happens, resources do not spread evenly. They move toward pressure points first. That creates imbalance. Not because it was planned, but because rapid growth requires triage, and triage always feels unfair to someone. This makes the CBA discussion critical, not as drama, but as a signal. Labor talks happen when economic assumptions no longer match reality. The current CBA was shaped under lower visibility, smaller revenue, and modest growth expectations. It worked then. It does not work now. When revenue rises, but pay structures lag, tension grows. When media attention expands, but player investment does not scale, questions follow. When public image grows faster than internal support, frustration becomes inevitable. This is not about greed. It is not about unrealistic demands. It is about alignment or the lack of it. Growth raised the stakes. The structure has not caught up. That gap between what the league is now and what it was built to handle is the real issue. Many of you have felt this for weeks. Something feels off. Not broken, but misaligned. Like an engine running faster than the frame holding it. That instinct was right. What we are seeing is not failure. It is friction. The natural result of success moving faster than structure. This moment matters because how the league responds will decide whether growth becomes stable or chaotic. Drop a comment. Should the WNBA slow down to stabilize or push forward and fix issues in real time? Let us cut through noise and focus on what matters. The WNBA faces 3 core challenges, all from the same source. Speed without preparation. First is the expectations gap. New fans do not compare the league to 5 years ago. They compare it to the NBA today. That is unfair but real. New audiences expect top-level execution even with a massive resource gap. That creates constant pressure the infrastructure cannot always support. Second is the communication gap. In a small league, delays do not matter. In a growing league, silence stands out. The WNBA still uses communication habits built for limited attention. That attention no longer exists. Every pause is interpreted whether correctly or not. If an organization does not control its story, someone else will. Third is resource distribution. This is the most misunderstood issue. During rapid growth, attention and promotion concentrate where momentum exists. That is not favoritism. That is gravity. But it feels unfair to players working just as hard without the same pull. The league did not intend this imbalance, but has not addressed it openly either. That silence is where frustration builds. Players understand business. They see the numbers. They see the growth. They ask a fair question. When does rising success benefit everyone? The answer is complex, but it requires honesty, not avoidance. Reading player comments closely shows the frustration is not about Caitlin Clark. It is about whether growth includes everyone or only follows momentum drivers. Players sense the difference even when it is unspoken. This is where leadership matters. Proactive leadership. The kind that acknowledges gaps early. The kind that says, we see the issue and here is the plan. That transparency does not exist yet, and its absence is louder than any statement. The WNBA has a window right now. Momentum is real and systems are still flexible. Windows close when pressure becomes crisis and misalignment becomes division. The CBA talks are about more than money. They test whether the league can evolve at the speed it is growing, whether operations can match public image, whether acceleration becomes stability instead of volatility. Success will not be measured only in dollars. It will be measured by whether players feel heard, whether the process reflects the new reality, not old assumptions. That outcome will echo far beyond one deal. Connecting everything reveals an uncomfortable truth. The WNBA got what it wanted. Attention, relevance, visibility. But wanting something and being ready for it are different challenges. The league is learning that lesson live under a spotlight it cannot turn off. This is not about whether Caitlin Clark helps the league. She does. It is about whether the league can keep up with what her arrival accelerated. Whether infrastructure can grow as fast as audiences. Whether operations can mature as fast as exposure. Whether expectations created by success can be met. Leagues that survive success acknowledge growing pains. They treat tension as information, not inconvenience. Stability comes from managing disruption openly. The WNBA earned this moment. The pressure, the expectations, the responsibility. What happens next depends on whether the league embraces the challenge or resists it. Whether it chooses alignment or deflection. That choice will shape the next decade, not just the next season. If you want to follow what happens next, subscribe and turn on notifications. We are tracking every move, every signal that shows whether the league is ready for the future it just rushed into. The story is not finished. It is only beginning. What happens in the next 6 months will show whether growth becomes legacy or a moment that could not last. Thanks for watching.